The screen flickers to life, not with a jarring alarm, but with a gentle hum, like the quiet thrum of existence itself. You're here, right now, and before you dismiss it as random chance, let's talk about the uncanny precision of divine timing. Why this video, this moment, and this particular set of knowledge arriving in your life, precisely when it does? It's not an accident. Deep beneath the surface of your everyday experiences, there's a hidden wave, a cosmic current that governs everything. It's called the Hermetic Law of Rhythm. Think of it as the universe's heartbeat, a fundamental pulse that modern life, with all its digital distractions and relentless demands, has a way of making us completely unaware of. Have you ever felt that strange pull towards chaos, that deep burnout, or those seemingly random emotional swings? They aren't random at all. They are signals, whispers from this ancient current, trying to show you that you're out of sync. This video is about understanding those signals and learning to attune yourself to rhythm's sacred flow, transforming the illusion of chaos into profound harmony. You're about to regain an alignment you didn't even know you'd lost. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this. Now let's keep going. This isn't a coincidence. The universe orchestrates itself with a precision that borders on the miraculous, and your presence here, absorbing these words, is a testament to that grand design. Have you ever noticed how certain ideas, certain people, or certain opportunities seem to appear exactly when you need them most, even if you didn't know you were looking? That's not luck. It's the subtle hand of divine timing, a cosmic choreography at play. This precise moment is an invitation, a whispered secret from the universal intelligence. It's an opportunity to understand why life unfolds the way it does, why you experience certain patterns and not others. The knowledge you are about to receive is not meant for just anyone, but for those who are ready to glimpse the underlying order that governs all things. This understanding is often presented when the soul is yearning for deeper meaning, for a connection to something larger than itself. Are you ready to see the invisible threads that weave your reality? Because understanding why this moment is significant is just the first step. What we really need to grasp is the fundamental force that makes all of this undeniable synchronicity possible. It's the pulse of everything. Rhythm is the pulse of the universe. It's not just a concept for philosophers or mystics. It's the underlying vibration that orchestrates everything from the turning of galaxies to the beating of your own heart. Imagine the ebb and flow of the tides, the steady cycle of day and night, the breath you take in and out. These are not isolated events, but expressions of a universal rhythm, a ceaseless wave of energy that moves through all creation. This law, often overlooked in our fast-paced world, dictates the rise and fall, the expansion and contraction that defines existence. It's the unseen tempo that governs growth, decay, joy, and sorrow. When you feel a surge of inspiration, followed by a period of quiet contemplation, you are experiencing the natural swing of this cosmic pendulum. To deny this rhythm is to fight against the very current of life itself, leading to exhaustion and discord. Truly understanding this pulse is key to navigating your life with grace and strength. But what happens when this fundamental pulse is completely ignored? What happens when you actively push against the very wave that carries you? The forgotten law that governs your life is the law of rhythm, and it's often ignored because its influence is so pervasive, so fundamental, that we mistake it for mere happenstance. The Kybalion, an ancient text, speaks of an unbroken flow, a ceaseless motion, a tide that lifts and then falls away. This isn't just about external events. It applies to your internal world as well, to your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy levels. You see this rhythm in the coming and going of opportunities, in the rise and fall of your own moods, in the cycles of creation and destruction that shape the world around you. Our modern lives, however, often encourage a frantic pursuit of constant ups and downs, a desire to stay perpetually on or up, which directly contradicts this natural, essential flow. When you resist this natural ebb and flow, you create a friction that leads to stress, burnout, and a feeling of being perpetually out of control. It's a force that underlies every single outcome in your life. Yet the most profound effects of this law come into play when we intentionally disregard its inherent nature. What is it that we do that so directly violates this universal wave? When you violate the wave, you're essentially going against the natural current of life, and the consequences can be deeply unsettling. It's like trying to swim upstream in a raging river, expending enormous energy for very little progress, or worse, being swept away by the undertow. This violation manifests as burnout, emotional turmoil, and a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction. You find yourself striving, pushing, and forcing things, all while the universe is attempting to guide you through a more natural, harmonious path. Think about moments when you've forced a relationship, pushed a project past its natural completion, or refused to rest when your body was crying out for it. These are all acts of violating the wave. The spiritual texts speak of this resistance drawing energy, creating a drag that pulls you down into states of negativity and stagnation. It's a fundamental detachment from the natural order, leading to unintended and often painful results. Understanding this disruption is crucial to reclaiming your inner peace and effectiveness. These violations, however, aren't just about external activities. They often stem from a deeper misunderstanding of what truly guides our lives, a misunderstanding that emotion alone can dictate our path. Rhythm reveals what emotion will never teach you. Emotions are powerful, yes, but they are also fleeting waves on the surface, often misleading us about the deeper currents at play. Rhythm, on the other hand, is the consistent, underlying flow, the truth beneath the emotional storm. While emotions can surge and recede with lightning speed, causing us to react impulsively, the law of rhythm teaches us patience, endurance, and the understanding that every phase, good or bad, is temporary. When we are caught in an emotional high, we might feel invincible, leading us to make decisions that are unsustainable. Conversely, during an emotional low, despair can convince us that things will never improve. Rhythm teaches us that these are just phases, that the pendulum will swing back. It provides a steady anchor in the face of emotional chaos, offering perspective and resilience. It shows us that true understanding comes not from clinging to fleeting feelings, but from recognizing the universal cycles of becoming and unbecoming. And while emotions are often volatile, the universe itself maintains a constant state of flux, a perpetual transformation that is far more profound than any single feeling. The next section explores this universal dynamism. The universe is never static. To believe otherwise is to misunderstand the very nature of existence. From the microscopic dance of atoms to the grand ballet of celestial bodies, everything is in a perpetual state of motion, change, and transformation. This constant flux is governed by the law of rhythm, a ceaseless undulation that ensures nothing remains fixed. Even mountains erode, stars are born and die, and your own thoughts and feelings are in constant transition. Modern life, with its desire for instant gratification and permanent solutions, often fights against this fundamental truth. We seek to freeze moments, to hold on to pleasure, and to banish discomfort, thereby creating resistance to the natural unfolding of life. This resistance is tiring and ultimately futile. The universe operates on cycles of creation and dissolution, growth and decay, a continuous movement that cannot be halted. Embracing this motion, rather than fighting it, allows us to move with life's flow, rather than against it. This idea of constant change might seem overwhelming, especially when we are taught that the goal is to achieve a state of constant positivity. But what if that very concept is a distortion? The lie of constant high vibration is a seductive trap that many fall into today. We are told to always be positive, always be happy, always vibrate higher. But this is not only unrealistic, it's a direct violation of the law of rhythm. The universe doesn't operate on a single, unchanging frequency. It moves in cycles, in waves of inspiration and introspection, of action and rest, of joy and sorrow. To deny the valleys is to deny the peaks their meaning. True spiritual growth isn't about perpetually bypassing negative emotions or difficult experiences. It's about learning to navigate them consciously, understanding that they are temporary phases, just like the high vibrations. When you try to force yourself into a state of constant bliss, you create internal tension and authenticity issues. You become a performer rather than a real being. Rhythm teaches us that both the highs and the lows have their purpose, their lessons, and their necessary role in our overall evolution. This artificial pursuit of perpetual upliftment often leads us to embrace technologies and lifestyles that actively work against this natural rhythm. How does the modern world train us to do this? Technology trains you against rhythm in insidious ways. Think about the endless scroll, the instant notifications, the binge-watching culture. These are designed to disrupt natural cycles of focus, rest, and engagement. Our brains become accustomed to constant stimulation, to immediate gratification, making it difficult to tolerate the natural pauses and slower rhythms of offline life. This constant barrage of information and entertainment keeps us in a perpetual state of low-level stress, preventing us from settling into deeper states of being. The digital world offers a constant stream of novelty, an artificial high that mimics progress and excitement, but ultimately depletes our vital energy reserves. We are trained to expect instant answers, instant connections, and instant results, which trains us to avoid the necessary discomfort of focused effort, deep thought, or simply being present without external input. This constant stimulation trains us against the natural ebb and flow, making us feel restless and unsatisfied when life inevitably presents its quieter moments. And what happens when we've trained ourselves so thoroughly against the natural flow? The universe, in its infinite wisdom, always seeks balance, meaning the pendulum must eventually swing back, often with a force we aren't prepared for. The pendulum always swings back. This is a fundamental principle of the law of rhythm. Whatever state you create, whatever energy you project, the universe will eventually bring you back to balance. If you've been pushing relentlessly, ignoring your body's need for rest, the pendulum will swing, and you'll likely face a period of forced inactivity, perhaps through illness or exhaustion. If you indulge in excessive pleasure, a period of discomfort or scarcity may follow to restore equilibrium. This isn't a punishment, it's a cosmic recalibration. The universe is perpetually seeking harmony, and when we create extremes, it works to bring us back to center. Understanding this principle allows us to live more consciously, to moderate our excesses, and to embrace periods of both activity and rest, joy and challenges, without fear. It encourages us to be mindful of our actions and their energetic consequences, knowing that balance is inevitable. But how can we even begin to track these swings when our lives feel like a chaotic blur? Recognizing the pattern requires us to observe the subtle shifts. Tracking the tides of your life requires a shift in perspective, moving from the frantic pace of reaction to the mindful observation of flow. It means becoming an attentive student of your own experience, noticing the subtle shifts in your energy, your mood, and the unfolding of circumstances. Just as a sailor watches the currents and the wind, you must learn to read the subtle waves of your own life. Are you currently in a phase of expansion or contraction, of outward action or inward reflection? This tracking isn't about control, but about awareness. It's about recognizing that life has its seasons, its ebbs and flows, and that attempting to force one season upon another is a recipe for struggle. Notice when inspiration flows easily and when it feels like pulling teeth. Observe periods of effortless connection and periods of solitude. This conscious recognition allows you to align your actions with the prevailing tide, working with life rather than against it. It's a profound act of self-awareness that unlocks deeper wisdom. This awareness, however, directly challenges our deeply ingrained desire to be in charge. It makes us question the illusion of control itself. Rhythm and the illusion of control are fundamentally at odds. Our modern conditioning often teaches us that success comes from meticulously planning and executing every detail, exerting our will upon the world. We believe that if we can just control enough variables, we can guarantee a specific outcome. But the law of rhythm reveals this as a profound illusion. Life's unfolding is a dance, not a military maneuver, and while we can influence our steps, we cannot dictate the music or the partners. The universe operates with a rhythm that transcends our individual desires. There are times for action and times for stillness, times for sowing and times for reaping. When we try to force action during a time of natural rest, or try to hold on to something that is meant to pass, we are fighting the tide. True mastery lies not in imposing our will, but in understanding the universal rhythm and moving our lives in concert with it, trusting that each phase serves a larger purpose. It's about surrendering the need to control every outcome. This surrender is not passive resignation. It requires a deep understanding of how our inner world mirrors the outer universe. Our very physical beings are tuned to a cosmic drumbeat. Your nervous system mirrors the universe. The intricate network of nerves within you, pulsing with electrical and chemical signals, operates on principles astonishingly similar to the cosmic rhythms that govern everything from planetary orbits to oceanic tides. Think of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, constantly shifting between states of activation and rest, much like the universe expands and contracts. When you face stress, your fight or flight response kicks in, a rapid surge of energy akin to a cosmic acceleration. Conversely, when you relax and recover, your parasympathetic system takes over, a slower, more deliberate wave of restoration. This constant interplay, this rhythmic fluctuation within your own body, is a direct echo of the universal rhythms described by Hermetic principles. When you experience emotional highs and lows, bursts of energy followed by fatigue, these are not random bodily functions. They are your internal system responding to and mirroring the grander pulse of existence, constantly seeking equilibrium. Understanding this intimate connection is the first step towards consciously engaging with these universal rhythms. It leads us to a practice of observing these internal and external fluctuations with a particular kind of detached awareness. Hermetic neutrality, observing, not resisting. This is a profound practice that arises from understanding the law of rhythm and its reflection in your nervous system. It means watching the ebb and flow of your thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances without judgment or attachment. Instead of clinging to good feelings or fighting against difficult ones, you learn to simply observe them as transient phenomena, like clouds passing in the sky. This detached observation is not indifference. It is a form of spiritual clarity, recognizing that you are not your emotions, nor are you the circumstances that befall you. You are the awareness that witnesses them. By not adding resistance, you allow the natural rhythm to play out more easily, preventing minor disturbances from escalating into major crises. This neutrality creates a space for wisdom to emerge, allowing you to respond to life from a place of calm, understanding rather than reactive emotion. It's a key to unlocking genuine peace. This practice of neutrality is particularly important when we consider why so many attempts to create change, to manifest desires, often seem to backfire, leading to outcomes we never intended. Why manifestation often backfires is a critical question, deeply tied to bypassing the law of rhythm. Many believe that focusing intently on a desire, visualizing it, and feeling it as if it's already yours is enough. And while intention is powerful, neglecting the natural cycles of rhythm can lead to a distorted manifestation. Trying to force a desired outcome into being before its time, or clinging to it with desperation, creates a tension that repels the very thing you want. The universe operates on a principle of inflow and outflow, sowing and reaping. When you only focus on the reaping, demanding it immediately, you disrupt this natural process. Manifestation is more about aligning yourself with the universe's rhythm, understanding when to act and when to allow, when to plant the seed, and when to patiently wait for it to grow. Backfiring often occurs when we try to short-circuit this natural unfolding, creating an energetic imbalance that the universe must correct, often in ways that feel counterproductive. Fortunately, there are ways to reconnect with this natural flow, to harmonize your internal rhythm with the universal pulse, and these practices can fundamentally transform your experience of life. Sacred practice. Reattune to the universal pulse. This is where the theory meets tangible transformation. Start by incorporating moments of stillness into your day. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about consciously choosing to align with the universe's rhythm of rest and integration. Simple practices like mindful breathing, spending time in nature, or engaging in gentle movement can help you shed the constant stimulation of modern life. Pay attention to your body's natural cycles. When do you feel most energetic? When do you need to rest? Honoring these internal rhythms is not laziness, it is wisdom. Another practice is to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, much like the hermetic neutrality we discussed. See them as waves passing rather than solid truths. By creating these pockets of awareness and conscious rest, you begin to loosen the grip of artificial rhythms and invite in the natural, harmonious pulse of the universe. This reattunement is essential for true alignment. And as you practice this sacred art of attunement, you begin to understand its ultimate purpose. It is the bridge back to where you truly belong. Rhythm is the bridge back to alignment. By consciously working with the law of rhythm, you cease fighting against the current of life and begin to flow with it. You understand that periods of challenge are not failures, but necessary phases in a larger cycle of growth. You learn to embrace stillness as much as activity, recognizing that balance is the key to sustained well-being and creative power. This profound reattunement allows you to move through life with a sense of peace, purpose, and synchronicity. You begin to see the divine order in every experience, understanding that even apparent chaos has its place within the universal dance. This isn't about passive acceptance, but active participation in the grand cosmic flow. Your life transforms from a struggle against external forces to a harmonious experience of unfolding, guided by an inner knowing that resonates with the universe itself. You are no longer a passenger tossed about by storms, but a navigator skillfully riding the waves. Make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next teaching. See you in the next one.